Hello and welcome to Dateline New Haven on WNHH-FM, your home for community radio. I'm your host, Paul Bass, inviting you to look behind the headlines on the stories that make New Haven tick. Nothing ticks more than Pundit Friday, which we're about to begin in the WNHH studio with the number one pundits in the media universe.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about the solar system. We're talking about the universe. We're talking about pundits like the dairy-free goddess of our grassroots radio operation, the belle of our ball, the managing editor of the Inner City News, and the host of WNHH's Love Babs, Love Talk program.
Hello.
Babs Rolls Ivy. Yes. The flyest news hunter-gatherer this side of Fleet Street, Star New Haven independent reporter Markeisha Ricks, leader of the Literati. The queen of quippery, quintessence of compassion, Lavosis Hispanic publisher Norma Rodriguez Reyes.
Hello, Norma.
Behind the controls, WNHH station manager and heavy D Donald Trump devotee Harry Jost, the bravest man in New Haven.
Yeah.
And we also have on the air today, as usual,
Paul Bass.
the sagacious sultan of swing, the zealous zapper of xenophobia, the blistering barbecuer of brain-dead bozos, the erudite Earl of ergonomics, the top-tier talent from Trinidad and Tobago, the dap-tone deliverer of decency, the maximum media maestro, Joe Ugly of the Joe Ugly Show in the morning.
Thank you, sir.
It's nice to see everybody.
It's great
So I
to
got
see
good
you.
news for you.
Okay.
There are all sorts of new prayer meetings about to start in the
Prayer
evening.
meetings?
Prayer meetings is code here, not for going to church at night, but for raising your glass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Sacrament.
There's
It's communion.
Well, there are a couple of swanky locations that are starting
new
hotel
communion
bars,
locations.
and I walked into one of them. Journalist walks into a bar, and it was on the corner. Used to,
Comes
like
out
I
with
thought,
a really fun story.
I thought I was
Imagine
going.
the stories.
I thought I was going to the corner to an old rental car lot. You know, at High and George Street. You know that rental car lot's been there forever.
Please.
Well, all of a sudden, there's this huge new hotel there.
Yep.
It's called
And
the
it
Blake.
did feel like all of a sudden.
It was all of a sudden because you know
oh
who
my
built
gosh. Oh, Randy
it,
Salvatore.
Mister.
Don't
All
play.
of a sudden, when there's money you
When he
made,
built-
this kind
Look,
builds
when that
stuff.
Mr.
dude
All
gets
of a
money to
sudden.
build a building, it gets built.
He built the
He
villa.
don't
He's
mess
going.
around.
He's going
He don't
fast
take
track
flight.
in the hill.
He is
No, I
definitely
met his
not
wife
single.
who helped him make this hotel. He is not single. He's
Like, he
definitely not
doesn't,
single.
he
I thought
doesn't
I was gonna
take
be all of a
12
sudden
years
a
to build
hotel
something.
magnet.
Mm-mm.
Well, he put
I
up
mean,
a
you could meet someone there. I mean, they got a Michelin-rated chef.
I know.
So everyone's building
Best
these
clothes.
boutique hotels, small hotels that have themes to the local community. They're like 100 rooms or so, 108, 132. And they think that's the new market. I didn't realize this till this week, that people found out that a lot of people coming to conferences and other events in New Haven,
Stay outside.
we're
of the
staying
city.
in small new hotels popping up in Milford and Wallingford. Then they have to hassle the rent a car, the train.
Mhm.
So there was a demand. So that's why these people, without us giving them any money or incentives, are trying to build all these hotels. There's a race on. And as usual, as with the race for market rate apartments, Randy Salvatore just got to it and built it. He's
Yep,
built
don't
other
mess
boutique
around.
hotels in other cities in Connecticut, basically everywhere but Bridgeport, which is another story.
Mhm.
And he's got this new one open, and it's quietly open. It's formally opening next week, and we'll get good pictures of it next week because I heard a rumor Marquisha's going to go. But you can look and see some of our photos in the Independent.
Marquisha's neck isn't working. She won't be there.
Yeah, well, this might cure it actually because there is a prayer meeting room there. So it is. This place is called the Blake, and I learned
If I get
so
to take
much.
sacrament, I might be okay.
I learned so much going there. I learned that
It's a nice looking place. That's
It
there was a
looks
place.
good.
There's a fancy restaurant there, which is sort of the key of this place.
Mhm.
And I never knew until this week. There's something called being a Michelin star
Michelin
Yeah.
star.
chef.
Our
Chef.
chef,
Yeah.
our
And
And
resident chef
apparently,
in the
we've
room.
never had one in Connecticut before.
like in the whole state.
I'm sorry, in New Haven.
Oh,
Oh.
was like,
I
wait a minute.
apologize. And this guy's been running. This guy named this guy Matt Lambert. He's from New Zealand originally. He's been running a fancy restaurant in New York. He got a Michelin star.
Mm.
And I
Those
met him,
are
and he was just
hard
some
to
regular
get.
guy. So I went there. They're getting this. 30 people are working in this restaurant. The
Mm.
first floor is a hotel called Hamilton Park.
Mm.
And the Hamilton Park, I didn't know this, was the name of a field at the corner of Whaley and West Park in the 19th century before they built the Yale Ball. That's where they played Yale football game, where people in New Haven all gathered. So they said, we want this to be a gathering place, not just a swanky hotel. And believe me, even though their starting rooms are 250, you go online, it's like 300 or more a night. So like, this is swanky, okay? But
You
they
got
got
a
this
call to get it
restaurant.
down to 250.
So this restaurant, this guy's like this down-to-earth guy. I meet him. You can see me talking to him on a video I took on The Independent. And he's just some regular guy, but he loves being a cook. And everyone's running around chef, because they're all like, practicing to open this restaurant. And he's showing me all these fancy foods. They mortadello. I'd never heard that, like with pig intestines, with the pig blood and the pig this and the pig that. And they're making all this kind of fancy
That
dishes.
sounds like chitlins.
And it's going to be,
That's
he said it's going to be a
exactly
bistro, something called charcuterie.
Yeah.
Just cold meats.
Yeah.
Hey, it's gonna have all this kind of stuff sourced
Charcuterie,
from New
you know,
England.
So
get
basically,
I heard that.
like small plate things that you can
Yeah.
eat with your hand. With
But
your
also
friends.
big dishes too, and a lot
Yeah.
a big menu. It's like 4 pages already,
Jeez.
and it's all from ingredients from New England. So it's gonna change with the
That's nice.
season. So that kind of fancy farm table
Any
thing.
vegan things on there?
The
Did you see
Randy
anything?
said, Matt, I'll cook you something up vegan. So I told him this all looks great. Obviously, I can't eat any or afford it. But, it's like, it's going to be great. New Haven will love it. And it's this big, airy place. So they made it all swanky. And you see the kitchen right there.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
no
trend.
walls, really.
Yep.
And then it opens up this beautiful bar for prayer meetings. And then you have this
Hey, I like
other
having prayer
area
meetings at
where
beautiful bars.
they want people to hang out with their laptops and do work, which might be funny to test if they're not patrons, but we'll see. To get coffee there, meeting rooms. And then it's 6 stories of 100 rooms. And they're still fitting out a rooftop garden restaurant. Attractable.
Did you
roof.
Did you check out a room?
I did check out a room.
Okay.
They just look like nice hotel rooms, but they're also on extended stay in
Yeah.
addition to one night.
you
So
can have
people come like
Who can
hospital
afford-
for.
I was like,
Somebody
I'm
can.
being like the residents. Who can afford that?
Yeah, and they got and they're gonna have the
Okay,
dishwasher in there. And they got pots and pans that they clean for you and everything, and so it's set up for extended stay. So Randy Salvatore knows
Yo,
what he's
I
doing.
wonder as people get as their crumbling apartments, will they get put up at the Blake?
Oh, probably.
That
not.
would be funny because actually there was an LCI inspector who used to make the slumlords in the
Put them
middle
at the
of
Omni.
At the Omni.
Yep.
Oh!
So I wonder if they get put up at the Blake.
That would be a great move, Markeisha Ricks.
Oh, Karma knows everybody's address.
Hey.
So
Wow,
I
like
also
that.
learned that the Blake was named after Alice Rufy Blake, who was the first woman to graduate from Yale in the 1800s, decades before any women were admitted. She put her initials down on the application for the law school, and they admitted her. She came to sign the paper, said, "We don't take women." They said, "Well, I don't see anything in your rules here says I'll take women." She argued her way legally
They're like, okay, you're so good at this. You
into
actually
the
should be at the
school,
law
and she
school.
got into law school.
That's
So the-
awesome.
Yeah.
Shout
just,
out to her.
just sit over there.
And
'cause
to your
girls.
question, Randy Salvatore's wife, Claire, told me that they picked that name because she was a pioneer and they wanted to give this New Haven theme.
I like that. Boy, they did some work.
Yeah.
They
I bet
did.
you New Haven. We did like a man on the street. I bet you New Haveners don't even know that.
I didn't know.
Oh,
That's
no.
true.
I
Yeah.
learned
They're
everything
probably
there.
Yaleys that don't know
And
that.
more
Yeah.
to, more to
I'm someone
Della.
who keep up with a lot of the history of New Haven. That one slipped me.
Both of those slipped me, and I've read
Yeah,
books
both.
on
You're
history
right.
in New Haven.
Right.
So,
You know,
lot to learn here. They want it to be a
That's
gathering
good.
place. They want it to be like a nice place where you have. It's not gonna be for like big conventions, but if you want
Yeah.
to have a work day with
Or
a
if
room
you're
or
like
two.
flying
No,
down
it's
to
the
talk
rest-
to somebody who just started a business that you're interested in investing in, you want to stay in town.
That's the
you
place
want
to
see
go.
what it is.
But-
That's going to be the place.
And
to
prayer
go.
is
meeting.
the restaurant open to the public or
It
is it just to
is.
the
Yes,
patrons?
is.
Okay,
it is
that's good.
completely
And
a
that's
public
been a
restaurant.
question for all these boutique hotels that are popping up. Will they be places that will be obviously welcoming to
Right.
community?
Well, I
as
want to get to
opposed
that. Now, the study was the first generation of
Mhm.
boutique hotel. That was
Right.
10 years ago.
Mhm.
And I
love that.
still
I
like
love
going
that
there.
place.
I love
that.
the-
Go to
the-
Ale.
That
Yep.
restaurant is
And the
very
bar, yeah.
swanky,
Yeah,
and
it
that's
is
open to the
very
public.
Yeah.
swanky.
So my question, and Babs was talking about this before we went on the air. So when you hear about this kind of upscale stuff happening, upscale apartment, now these upscale places people go, obviously we're not going to be able to afford to go there much, but we might pop in there. Someone's paying for us once
Happy
or some
hour.
special
Oh,
occasion.
happy,
We
yeah,
can-
that'd
we
be a
can do
happy
happy
hour.
hour.
So some people say, well, gee, that's not for us in New Haven. And I don't know what I'm missing because I think, how could this not be good? We had a surface lot that's now going to pay all this taxes.
Mm-hmm.
30 people working in the restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
20 people working in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
People coming to town, going other places and spending money, supporting jobs, trying to keep our taxes down. And yeah, it's not for me, but I'm really happy going to Caribbean too and getting my, vegan soul food thing for $10. Why is it a problem
But who said
if stuff? Because there is, you hear a lot in our comment section, people
Yeah.
saying, and sometimes I really agree with them, like certain aspects. You don't develop a city just
Don't-
for the rich.
The only thing that I would say, Paul, is that if you're looking at the employment at these places, are they coming from New Haven? But is New
Yeah, it's a
Haven
good
being
question.
included? Or people are people commuting into these these spaces?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I think in the restaurant industry, a lot of people get work.
Yeah, I think a lot
New
of
Haven,
people
a lot
get
of
work.
immigrants
Yeah.
get
I mean,
work.
And I mean, that gives you the opportunity to work downtown instead of Milford or
Yeah.
wherever these other hotels
Right.
are.
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
nice.
And I know the not for us thing. And I understand people saying that. I don't think I was ever one of those people that sort of felt that way. I feel like everything in this town is
It's
for
for
It's
you.
your
me.
town.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right? Even when I'm treated poorly in places like Wave, I still think it's for me.
Mhm.
But
And
that's
you have a very
because
positive. You have the
oversee yourself
positive
as-
genes, Babs.
Right.
Not everybody can feel
Right.
that same way. Like the mayor in outside Chicago, who got treated the same way at Wave, did not feel like it was for her.
Yeah. I
No,
still
no,
feel
no.
like it's for me.
No, the thing is that individual space might be in the sense of when you say not for me, there's two angles to that. You were saying not for me in the sense of you made it to where you try to make me feel uncomfortable, but you as an individual say it's for me regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Babs,
And I
they
think
might make you feel uncomfortable at Wave. But
I think there's going to be an element of both. There's going to be the not for me as in not for New Haveners in the sense that like all New Haveners, regardless of their socioeconomic status, because like the idea obviously is to attract people from elsewhere to come stay in New Haven.
We want their business dollars rather than the suburbs getting them.
Absolutely. So like, to be competitive in that vein, like that's like, it's just something that had to happen. We weren't going to build Motel 8s downtown.
right, correct.
Like real talk, that
Well,
just
wait a
wasn't
minute,
going to
I heard
happen. I'm not shading
I heard
Motel
something about
8s.
a-
Like Motel
I am.
8 service. There are, I when I was in college, I worked at a Fairfield Inn, so I got to see kind of Marriott's kind of stratosphere. Like, so you have the high end Marriott
Right.
that's somewhere in somebody's downtown on a riverfront somewhere where the rooms are $200-$300 a night. You have the Fairfield Inn where it's like $59.95.
Right.
So like, and then you have the Residence Inn in between there, and you have like all these different. So like, hotel chains are gonna do that. They see downtowns as the place to put their landmark hotels, and the burbs is where they put their their economical things.
And we do
So,
have others. We do have the
Yeah.
right on Willie Avenue. We got a Marriott that's sort of more in the middle. Like
Yeah.
we got
the Courtyard Inn is a very like middle of the road like Marriott property. Like, but it's a higher inn than say a Fairfield Inn. Like we could have had a Fairfield Inn on that corner.
In reference to what Joe Ugly mentioned in terms of the employees, whether they would be from New Haven or not, I think it's very important when we bring in some of our residents from New Haven that are low income to work in some of these places, we give them an opportunity, or we're given an opportunity. But I think resources is very important. For instance, sometimes you're given an opportunity, but you don't have the clothing necessary to look the part. Which
I will
let
say
me
a lot
finish-
of
let me-
hotels provide
right.
uniforms for their
But
employees.
The other thing, it's very similar to what happened at the mayor's office. When you go into the mayor's office, you expect to see the receptionist, dressed a certain way to fit, working in the mayor's office. And with a lot of the restaurants, it's the same thing. And it reminds me so much of when poor individuals are given housing, brand new homes. If you don't help them, to buy curtains, to buy the necessary things that they need, then it's not easy for them to really do a upstart.
which was
to
understood by
start.
Jim Paley and Geraldo Canto when they were developing affordable housing, help people buy homes
But
on
that's
money.
no
They did all
more-
this training about how to do the mortgage. They helped them get the good HVAC systems in to begin with, so they don't have, and the roof good, so they can keep on top of the expenses and hold on to that house. It's a
I
good
would
point.
think that is based on the training, a training for, because you don't have to go and buy brand new.
Yeah, we had that thrift store
curtains.
conversation.
Exactly. You can, let's have that thrift shop or hotel liquidators. One of these places. You can teach people how they can buy quality stuff at low prices. The key is to help them understand. But back to the Blake, very interesting is that we were looking for space for people who are coming in town for my son's graduation this year, and that place is already sold out.
Wow.
And we were like, unless that's what they're saying.
I mean,
No, like I don't always buy it when they say we're understored or under this, but I think it's true about the hotel rooms. There's a market. That's why the
Yeah, and
money's
they
going
probably
in.
like
No,
a
so
hotel like that
definitely.
probably also has a staff specifically booking,
Right.
like
Could
who's
be.
working to book and keep it booked.
yeah.
So
And we needed hotel. We need
Yeah,
hotels.
absolutely.
We do.
I mean, we
We
still
do.
need hotels in this town, regardless.
Well, we're
someone
getting-
brought up a good on the website on our website brought up a good point. What's going to happen to the Coliseum site now that all these others are probably
Well,
going to come
and
on
that
board
is
messing
before
with
the
so. What
Coliseum
happened there
comes
is
up.
that the people who now
keep messing
have
with my
taken
view, I'm
over the
telling you.
lead.
If nothing gets built,
So
you'll
the old
be
Coliseum.
fine.
First of all, we should remind people they're listening to Pundit Friday and Dateline New Haven with people on 5 FM live stream newhavenindependent.org. The Coliseum site's a good point. It's being taken over now because it's going nowhere forever by a builder who's building stuff fast in town, including a new hotel we're going to get to in a second. His name, it's the Spinnaker Company, Clay Fowler. And they're doing a feasibility study right now, your very point. So on the Coliseum site, the issue there is these are all boutique hotels. None of them could do big conventions. Only the Omni could do a big convention. And believe it or not, even the Omni space was not big enough to have the city plan conventional. It was turned to come to this area, so New Haven
But
couldn't
how
host
often
it
a year?
Oh,
because they had a
wow.
big enough ballroom but not enough meeting rooms.
space.
So from the beginning, they wanted this new development that was going to be built with apartments and offices
And
on the Oil
conventions in mind.
to include a hotel with a convention center. Now they are wondering, because that very question you just asked, they are doing a feasible study at the moment about what kind of hotel they want. They originally thinking 5-star hotel or 4.5. I mean, you know how bad I am on stars, whatever the big one is. So now they're saying maybe we don't need quite that level. What is it that the market needs? And it seems what's driving that is not just the hotel rooms, but the holding the conventions. But now there's a second hotel. So I think we all agreed, if I'm not mistaken, that it's positive that they're doing the Blake. We're hoping the jobs go locally. The second hotel in this race to build smaller hotels with boutique themes. You know, the Duncan is becoming the Graduate, which is going to be next year. They're still not landing someone from Route 34 West. I think there are union issues. They have permission but no movement yet on the Pirelli building on Long Wharf and the Union next to the building on the surface lot next to the apartments a block from here at Elm and Church. But last night, 2 nights ago, Marquisha saw the folks who are building the next hotel that's going to get started very soon now because they just got their final approval. And that's not going to have a local theme name, but it's still going to be smallish, 132 rooms, a Hilton Garden Inn on the parking lot and what's going to be the torn down bank building that's empty now at